So I've been sitting at my desk for about 3 hours cutting out this design. It actually comes, I don't know how much of it you can see, but it comes from a doily pattern. I took this doily and laid it on the paper and sprayed it. Most of the time I just spray directly, put the doily directly on the canvas and spray, and then work from that image. But for some reason I got it in my head that I had to take this doily, put it on a piece of paper, spray it, and then cut all the dark images out. And so that's what I'm doing. And my hope is I finish this at some point today so that tomorrow I can spray it. But then I've got other images that I want to cut out and spray onto the very large canvas I'm working on. It's going to be about 6-7 feet high and I think about 8 feet long, with 3 figures in it, 3 children sitting in a field. And I'm building patterns in their clothing, not that they're necessarily going to be perfectly clear when the painting is done, but it's to add another layer, another depth, more depth to the painting than just 3 children sitting in a field. Look at what I can paint. This gives it another layer that will hopefully make it really interesting for somebody, someone besides me and Bugsy. But as I'm sitting here cutting this out, I was thinking about a couple of things. Like, if people really, I've been wondering if people really understand how much goes into making a piece of artwork. Not only the time of, completing the work, starting and completing the work, but all the stuff that goes into making that piece of artwork possible. This little design here represents several years of college, non-credit courses. It represents artist seminars. It represents years of working in galleries and not selling anything, and thousands and thousands, and tens of thousands of dollars of supplies over the years. It represents a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of designing and redesigning, just so much time and effort and money. Just this one little piece of paper. This one little piece of paper is going to go into a painting that's going to teach me how to do the next painting, and the next painting, and the next painting, and the next painting. All of them are an investment. All of them are education. And hopefully all of my work is something that no one else can do. So the point is, when you're looking at a piece of artwork, as a buyer, when you're looking at a piece of artwork, you're looking at a culmination of years, not just a project that someone threw together yesterday. If it's of any quality, of any value, it's a culmination of years of work, of someone's heart and soul and mind and every fiber of their being going into that piece of artwork that you're investing in. And in investing in that work, you're investing in the artist. And taking someone who has dedicated their life to building work, you're taking them to another level. You're giving them more courage and helping them to advance. And that person is helping someone else to advance, hopefully. I just heard Meryl Streep say something really interesting. What was it? We don't know what we mean to each other. I know what it means when someone buys one of my paintings, when someone invests in me. But I don't think that person knows. It's an investment, but it's also a pat on the back for years and years and years of hard work. And it says you're headed in the right direction. But before I get too maudlin and maybe tear up and cry, I wanted to talk about something else that I've been thinking about while I'm sitting here cutting out this silly thing. A few years ago when I lived in New Bedford, I had a friend and neighbor who wanted to purchase a piece of work. She was absolutely obsessed with this one artist's work and had to have a piece of furniture that he made. Well, the piece of furniture that she wanted was $1,200, and she didn't have $1,200 to just go in and buy it. So I said to her, have you talked to the gallery? And she said, oh, I go in and I look at it, we chit-chat. And I said, but have you asked him about it? Have you talked to him about maybe different ways of paying for it? And she said, what do you mean? And I said, most galleries will work out a payment plan with you. It is the objective of the gallery to sell work. They have to pay rent, they have to pay bills. So it is the objective of the gallery to sell work. And in reaching that objective, most galleries will work out a payment plan. I don't know of any gallery that doesn't. If you walk in with 25% down and then set up a payment plan for the next year, if you can walk out of that gallery at the end of the year with your piece of artwork, everybody has won. The gallery has won, you have won, and the artist has won. And that's what she did. She went down to the gallery, she gave them 25% down, and then she paid it off every month. In the winter months, it was a little bit harder, so she could only pay $50. But sometimes she went in a few times, every couple of weeks, after having a yard sale, and put money down. And at the end of that year, she had the piece of furniture she wanted. And we don't know what we mean to each other. What Jane didn't know was that I knew the artist that made the piece of furniture that she wanted. Her purchase not only helped the gallery to keep going, but it validated that artist. And that artist, I actually have a couple of his pieces where I did the same thing. Unfortunately, he passed away. I get a little teary-eyed. He passed away unexpectedly, and it killed me. It really killed me. But I'm really glad to say I have 4 of his pieces, and I don't buy artwork. I don't collect things, but I happen to have really liked his work. But her efforts meant the world to him, and it gave him the courage to keep creating. Jane, with her meager income, invested in this man without ever meeting him. And it meant the world to him. He was in his 60s, and he had spent years at a job he hated and ended up making these really wonderful pieces that he was so proud of. She validated him. So I'm not sure what the point is here, other than if you're a buyer and you're looking at work and you're thinking it's too expensive, you really need to think, is this something unusual? Is this an investment? Is this person going somewhere? Is this person capable of taking off if I invest in them? Someone like me? Oh yeah. I'm a train. I'm a machine and a train. Someone like my friend? Oh yeah. Absolutely. He made some really beautiful pieces. I wish I'd been able to buy more of them. And then there's artwork that people just, they don't, they're not thinking, but they know that it's cheap and they want something cheap in their home. I mean, I know people who have just said, well, it goes with my house and I couldn't afford anything else. Well, there is an option, and it's making payments. It's talking to the gallery, building a relationship with the gallery. And, I don't mean to be lectury and blah, blah about it, But a lot of people just don't know. You can even work with the artist. Go into their studio, make an appointment, go into the studio. Set up a payment plan. But you got to stick to the plan, because there's people that is going to affect very deeply. I've been talking to a number of artists in my mill building here who are, some really struggling. And so we're trying to figure out different options of things to do. And so that's what got me thinking, I guess, originally about all the stories I just told. There's always a way. There's always a way to make it work. You just got to communicate and find out how. Brainstorm. Because again, in a weird way, we don't know what we mean to each other. I don't know if that made any sense. I have no idea. Anyway, I'm going to get back to cutting. Ciao.